Hello! Today we're going to be talking about all the things I learned from my failed art business. How are you doing? My name is Lakin and welcome to my channel. And if you're watching this, either you're just curious and nosy about the failures I've experienced, or maybe you're going through the same thing, or you're trying to find a reason not to allow your business to fail. But I have definitely allowed my business to fail. But that doesn't mean that I'm a failure. That is one thing that I've been having to tell myself over and over and over again. I'm not a failure. Technically, my business wasn't even a failure. I made sales. I have maybe around 150 to 200 sales, somewhere around that ballpark, which is a lot better than some Etsy shops ever get. I do know that some never make it past sale one. So I'm very fortunate and happy that I was able to get past that point. I was never able to celebrate the little successes because I was comparing myself to the other businesses. My art business wasn't full-time yet, so it wasn't a success. It wasn't making me a livable income yet, so it wasn't a success. I didn't have people selling out my items, so it wasn't a success. And in focusing on those things, I did not focus on, this person has bought from my shop for the third time in a row. I don't know this person. I've gotten sales from people I don't know, from places I've never been. This person complimented my work and said it made their day. All these little successes that I ignored. And in doing so, I felt like more of a failure than I actually was. But why did my business fail? I still chose for my business to fail. I still looked at it as a failure. I still looked at it as a little bit of an embarrassment. And in doing so, I lost the joy of doing it. And I mean, at the end of the day, if I really dig down deep into myself, I don't actually want to sell art. Selling the art would be just like a little bit of an added plus, but that's not my main goal. I don't want to do that. I just want to create art and share it. And that's kind of what I've transitioned into. I'll hopefully be making and just sharing more art here on YouTube, instead of making a product to sell it, and that's my way of sharing it with the world. One of the things that I feel like probably helped a lot in the decision of me finally deciding to just, you know what, this just hasn't worked, time to move on to something else, was you have to focus way more on the marketing side of an art business than the making art side of art. I remember hearing that a lot, and I thought that's what I was doing. I thought I was focusing more on the marketing side than the art making side, but I wasn't actually doing that. Or I mean, I was, but it was just on the wrong stuff. I was putting a lot of energy, a lot of time and effort and stress, running around making stuff that wouldn't move the needle when it comes to marketing at all. My Instagram page is very beautiful. It looks very pretty, but it is not engaged with whatsoever. And I was really self-conscious about that. And in doing so, that shame and guilt essentially compounded onto itself, making it feel like it was even more embarrassing to be seen trying so hard. Trying and making all these TikToks and reels and creating all this different content when why am I talking like this? Why am I acting like I have a million viewers when it's just my family liking the things and the odd other person? Which, in order to succeed, you have to get past the ego. You have to get past the shame of what other people will say, because one, that doesn't go away, and if you push past it, then all they can really say is, well, whatever they're doing, it's working. But now, all they can say about my business is, Lakin has stopped for the 10th time. Are we surprised? And I don't really like that. I don't like that they can say that, even though it is 100% true. I have started and stopped really pushing towards this business, this selling my art, so many times. I probably have 3 or 4 posts on my Instagram talking about how I'm back, we're gonna be focusing on this, you're gonna be seeing a lot more of me, yada yada yada. And then a month, 2 months later, crickets. I'm gone again. Which I believe is another big reason it failed. You need to be consistent, and not just consistent in the making of the art. I was consistent in that. I was consistent in making products. I was consistent in the idea making and I was always working on it, but I was not consistent in the marketing. I was not consistent in the social media. I was not consistent in putting effort towards improving my SEO and my descriptions and my listings just themselves. I was not consistent in promoting what I was working on. Something didn't work, something didn't sell. Time to move on to the next thing. That's how it was in my mind. I abandoned the products I had made in order of maybe the next one will be better. Maybe the next one will be the hit. Maybe the next one will be the thing that sells out and people actually like it. Which people probably do like my art. I don't doubt it. But they have to be able to see my art and form a connection with my art in order for them to want to spend their money on my art. There's so much art that I see that I love, but I don't buy it, because if I was to do that, I would be broke, and I would also have no wall space, which, I mean, I already don't really have any wall space because of how much art I've bought, but that doesn't mean I didn't like it any less. But I wasn't using my own shopper logic as a basis of what other people might be using as their shopper logic. I like to be connected to the artist. I like to know them and understand where they're coming from. But I wasn't doing that with my own art and my own marketing. I have to see an image over and over and over again before I'm like, you know what, I do really need that in my house. Like, no joke, I can't live without it anymore. But I wasn't doing that with my own art. I would post about it one or two times, feel like people are getting bored with it, and I would drop it and go on to the next thing. Yeah, I basically needed to stop planning and start doing. I love to plan. I love to come up with year-long plans, and I've had to accept that most of the time I'm just planning to have fun. I'm not planning to actually work something out. Majority of the time I don't follow the plan. But I also have noticed that I will plan in order to procrastinate doing the thing. In my head, I'm still working on it. I'm still working towards it because I'm planning. I'm getting a vision for what I need to do. But I'll just keep planning, and I won't ever move on from that because, okay, well, now I have a plan. What if this plan is utter garbage? What if people laugh at me when I try to execute this plan? What if this is just not what I'm meant to do? And for someone who likes to say that they don't really do a lot of negative self-talk, they try really hard to, even if it's not positive self-talk, to neutral self-talk. I don't really do that when it comes to my business. I allow the fear and anxiety to consume me, and in doing so, I let them lead my life. And when fear, shame, and anxiety lead your life, it leads to inconsistencies, it leads to jumbled, chaotic messes, and it leads to, which in turn leads to I told you so's. See, I knew you couldn't do it. This is a failure. You're not going to make it. Part of me feels like I never gave my business 100% of a fair shot, but that's a lie. I gave it 100% of a fair shot in my own way, and looking back on it, maybe that way wasn't the best way, but it was still my way, and I can't, just because I know looking back that I wasn't very consistent, which didn't really help. I didn't promote past products, which probably didn't help. I didn't allow people to get to know me as the artist. I just, here's a pretty picture, buy it. Which probably didn't help, but I cannot ignore the hours I put into this business. I cannot ignore the money I put into this business. I cannot ignore the effort and stress and love and care that I did put into this business. Was it 100% correct? No, it wasn't, but it was mine. And it would be an utter shame to just chalk it all up to I didn't try. I did try. And I could keep trying, The only reason my business is a failed art business is because I am choosing to stop. I am. And I can choose to start again. I can choose to revive it. I can choose to go back and all these things that I've said, put them into practice and see if it actually works. But I don't think that's what I actually want to do. I always found it really difficult to do the admin side, and I think that was part of the universe or myself just saying, like, this is not for you. The creating the art is, you're an artist. You need to create things in order to feel alive. But the selling it, you don't have to do that. And I think that's what my body and my mind was trying to tell me, but I wasn't really listening. And so now I'm going to listen. And maybe I'm wrong. Like I've been wrong with so many things about this business. Maybe I'm wrong, and selling my art and creating home decor and embroidery for people to fill their homes with is exactly what I should be doing. But if that's the case, I trust that it will come back around. It will come back into my life and it will make itself clear, because I just can't keep doing it. I'm tired. I want to focus on other things. I have a finite amount of energy. I have a finite amount of time within my day, which is maybe an hour or two a day because of my job. And that's just how it is. And I am choosing to focus on other things, choosing to focus on this YouTube channel, choosing to focus on my writing, choosing to focus on not making every single hobby I do into a side hustle. Choosing to allow some things to just be for creating and having fun and enjoying myself without trying to figure out a way to make money from it. So my art business failed, and it's because of me. And I'm now okay with saying that. And I'm not saying that your business has failed because of you. I don't know what your situation is. So I can't say yes or no. And I'm not going to. It is, every business is different. Every roadmap and journey is different. Mine is just ending with a shop that on the outside looks like it failed and looks like I gave up. Which I guess in a way I have. I've given up and I've failed. But I'm gonna choose not to think about those things. I'm gonna choose not to focus on, I didn't make a living from my art. I didn't get to quit my 9-to-5 job with my art. So it's a failure. I'm gonna try to focus on the nearly 200 sales I did get. That's a success in and of itself that I was forcibly ignoring during the process. And I think that hindered me. I wasn't able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I wasn't able to see the progress I was making. I was only able to see the shortcomings that I was experiencing. Now, I even bought a training course to try to revitalize my shop and help me, give me a last push, a last hurrah of what this all could be. And that was my motivation for probably the last year. Was I need to get this shop up and running. I need to make this successful because I spent this much money on a course, and this course has everything I need. And I am not shaming or talking bad about the course. I think that course is wonderful and I would highly recommend it. I just think I bought it too late into my journey. I had already fallen out of love with what I was doing by the time I had bought the course. And the course, while it's full of information and tells you how to do things, the psychology behind it, everything you need, everything. Oh, it's so full. It's so monetarily wise, it is worth it with how much you get. But what it doesn't give you is the passion you need to create, the drive you need to put in the hard work. It does not give you that when you've tried to do this for years and you still feel like you're at square one and you're just tired. You're done. You're uninterested. But you're fooling yourself into thinking that you can do this. You're almost there. You just need to hustle a little bit harder. No. No, you don't. No, I don't. My business has failed because I am done allowing the fear of possibly missing out on millions of dollars from selling my art if I just continue one more week, one more month, one more drop, one more creative release. I'm done with letting that work. Because it wasn't giving me that. It was just giving me stress and worry, and it was sucking the enjoyment of creating out of me. Whenever I would go for 3 months and then I would ghost and go dark and then I'd come back 6 months later, during those 6 months, I wouldn't have created a thing. And I think that is more of a sign that something was wrong than anything else. But I ignored it. But I'm not ignoring it anymore. I don't actually want to sell my art. I don't actually want to be an art business. An art business is not just creating art and putting it online and people will flock to it. An art business is a business about art. And businesses are a lot of admin, marketing, just menial, non-creative tasks. And I'm not interested in those things. And in not being interested means that my business will not go anywhere. It means it will stay a failed business, even if I keep it open for 5 more years. I'm not saying I'll never get another sale again, but I'll never hit those levels of quote unquote success that I was striving for. And so, instead of doing that, I'm just gonna cut the business part out of it and just keep the part that I truly enjoy, which is creating the art, creating the content. And instead of doing it for other people and so that way other people can view me as successes as well, I'm doing it for me. And who cares what anyone else thinks? Because it's for me. I'm an artist for me. I'm not an artist for other people to be like, wow, look at what they've done. Look at what they've accomplished. I need to get the approval from myself and not from others. Now, if we want to be super technical, my Etsy shop is still open. And it will probably stay open until all my listings have expired. It's not a lot of listings. It's maybe like 5. But I'll keep it open until they expire, and then I'll shut it down. So I have no issue with creating the odd pet portrait for somebody if they so desire. But I am just, until that point of when all my listings are shut, I'm not working on it. I've already viewed my shop as shut down. And also a part of me for leaving it open is so that way I don't have to tell anyone yet. I don't have to tell my family that I'm quitting. Because again, the shame of what they're gonna think when they hear that. It controlled me all throughout my business, and it still has a control over me now. I do still have those days where I look to my husband and I'm like, what if we tried again? What if I tried? What if I put in the effort? And I know I could probably make it work if I did all the things that I know that you're supposed to do, and I put work into the things that mattered and not into the things that don't actually matter. If I stopped planning and started doing and just did it all right. But that's easier said than done. That is me romanticizing the art business. And if I'm honest, I have been less stressed. I have been happier since I've just allowed myself to exist. I've allowed myself to create without the looming thoughts of, can I monetize this behind the creation? Now I've been creating a lot less, and I'm sure I'll have moments of where I create a lot and then moments where I create nothing for long periods of time. But that will be my choice, and it will be the only person that it will hurt will be myself. And it won't even be that bad because I'll probably just be focused on another hobby of mine in that moment. So there's not really that big of a consequence to my stopping and starting. So my art business failed, but I did not. I can choose to start again, but I'm choosing to stop. I am choosing to let go of the FOMO and the shame around the idea that I didn't make this work. But guess what? I tried. And I tried so hard. And no one can take that away from me. So many people want to do something with their lives, have a dream for what they want their future to look like. And majority of people don't even try. I tried. And now in the season of life that I am in right now, it is something I'm not interested in anymore. But that does not negate the effort that I put into it. And that effort is nothing to be ashamed about. My art business failed, but I did not.